Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we are stoked to welcome our guy, the machine, Bert Kreischer, to the show, who is checking in with us about the comedy special Lucky, which is on Netflix. It dropped last night, and I watched it last night to get ready to fully prepare for Bert. But there really is no way to prepare for Bert Kreischer when he joins the show. So, Bert, man, it's been a minute since we talked to you. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate you and love you, man.
I just saw a picture of us in Philadelphia this morning. It was the first thing on my feed.
So I did post that picture when it was one of my first dates with my wife, and this is how I knew she was the one. Because we only went on a few dates, and my wife said, hey, I got these tickets for you. I don't know if you're interested, but, and I'm going to put this in perspective. I'd already, by the time I met my wife at this time, I'd been seeing Bert and known Bert for about 15 years before that, okay? So she goes, I don't know if this guy, Bert Kreischer, if you're interested in seeing that, but I got tickets. I heard he's really funny. And I went, no, he's terrible. We're not going to that show. We're not going to do that. I can't. But no, of course we go to this.
What's so funny is, I mean, I tell this story all the time, and I can't tell it on air because it's dirty. But probably 20 years ago, you, and Nikki Glaser did radio. It was the first radio she ever did.
That's right. And you can dance around the story, I guess. You can't tell exactly what happened, but it was Nikki Glaser's.
We were talking about oral treats, and Nikki didn't understand. What the FCC was.
And she wasn't talking about mints. Let's just put it out there.
And she broke the rule not once, but twice, and the second time was way worse.
Way worse. It was amazing because, Bert had Nikki Glaser opening for her at the time, and she'd never done radio. He's can I bring this, are my opener? I go, sure. And she does it and talks about, like Bert, to his words there, oral treats. And people know the show's on a delay, so I dump it, and then we go to break, and Bert's dying on the floor, laughing, of course. And I said, no, you can't say that. And Bert explains, we're on the radio. And she was, got it. She was understood. And we go live. It's way worse than what she did before that.
She did not have it. She did not understand.
He literally said, I asked his C.
Oh, my God.
And we were like, what made you think you could say that? Nikki. She was like, wait, you guys say that all the time. We're like, not on air.
Yeah. Oh, man.
My God.
So
That's
good.
So awesome.
Yeah, and it was so cool seeing you and Nikki at the Tom Brady roast, too, by the way. Just what was that, a couple months back there, the Tom Brady roast. And she crushed and you and Tom crushed. It was great.
I did. I loved your PowerPoint.
It was cooler for me and Leanne. Now I've known Nikki 20 years, and I've known her since she was a kid. Like I want to say a little girl, but like a kid. And the coolest part was we all do the roast. We realized Nikki had a moment, right? Like Nikki just popped, and she doesn't party anymore. I'm out in the room partying, like at the post party, and I go into her dressing room, and she's sitting there, and I see it in her eyes that she realizes her life just changed. And Leanne's like, honey, things are just about to go different for you for the rest of your life. And you can see it in Nikki's eyes. And we've all had that moment, like everyone that has had a moment of success, you have that moment where something changes. And for a friend of mine for 20 years, to see it in her eyes that she realized, oh, I'm about to pop. It was the coolest thing you could ever share with someone.
Oh, that's so special. How awesome.
Yeah.
And then you told her the story about how she almost, lampooned her career by dropping the F-bomb and the C-bomb. Yeah. Bert's like, I don't know this girl. I didn't bring her. I don't know what's going on. Crap. So many great visits. Can't wait to get you in again. I know you got some shows coming up besides the Netflix special dropping, but you got a show in Rockford and in Milwaukee coming up. So the Rockford one's in September. Milwaukee, they're both in September, actually, September 18th and then 19th over there. But you're at the United Center.
Rockford is the first show of my new tour. I'm so excited to go there. So I had a buddy who grew up in Rockford. So, like, all through high school, he would tell me stories about Rockford. And I was like, I wonder what that's like. And I've been there before. I love Rockford, but that is the first of the Permission to Party tour. That's the first date.
I
Oh
wonder.
my gosh. Well, I'm excited because I live all the way out in Elgin. I don't live in downtown Chicago. So Rockford's actually kind of closer to me. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah, it's going to be in Rockford.
Dude, I kind of like. I mean, listen, I had a good time when I did the United Center my last tour, but I kind of like going outside the city a little bit because you can see the people that are my age going like, "Yo, thanks, man. I didn't want to drive into the city tonight. I appreciate you."
Amen. We want it. We want parking. We want Bert and parking.
Yeah, well, dude, I told someone the other day they opened a business, and I go, "How's the parking?" And they're like, "What do you mean, how's the parking? The food's amazing." I go, "What's the parking like?" 'Cause
Yes.
if you have bad parking, I just won't go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd rather ride a horse there than try to park my car in a place that doesn't have parking.
I'd rather rent a helicopter for $1,500 than try to find parking on a busy street. You out of your mind? Get good parking, and that's why I'm coming to Rockford. September 18th.
I'm not sure
Amen.
I'm not sure the parking.
I should have called this tour the Great Parking Tour.
Yes, you should have. You would have sold out in 4 seconds.
I'm not sure at what point of your life does it become that when parking is more important than the actual show or
I
dinner.
don't know. I'm 29, and it's more important to me right now.
God.
So.
Holy
Bro,
crap!
if you told me my favorite band, I have a million favorite bands now, but if you told me Wilco was playing at the Staples Center, I'd be like, hard pass. I'm not going to try to find parking down there. I'm not doing it. But if you told me tickets are $10,000 and they're playing at the bar next door to your house, I go, oh, I'm in. I'll buy 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you've done well for yourself. You've grinded and become this empire. So $10,000 for that show for you is better than trying to find a parking spot at the Staples Center.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Oh.
I almost paid $150,000 to have Dwight Yoakam play at my house.
Explain.
Good parking.
Because my wife's favorite artist is Dwight Yoakam, right? So I was like, yo, you make a little money and you start realizing certain things are attainable. Like you can go, yo, what's the cost to have a dance floor in my backyard, right? And then you're like, oh, that's not that bad. Like, what's the little treats that you go, oh, I can afford this. This is nice. Oh, wait, I can have a chef cook for my family for like $1,000, and then I can have how many people? So you start breaking down. You go, yo, that's better than taking them out to dinner. It'll be more to take them out to dinner. I'd rather have this at my house. And so one night I am drunk, and Leanne's going on and on about Dwight Yoakam. So I reach out to his manager, and I go, yo, how much is it to have Dwight come play at my house? I'm thinking it's going to be like if it's $20,000, I go, done. I go, no, my price would probably be $25,000. And then I go, okay, $50,000 is my price tag. And he comes back with $125,000. And I started doing the math, going, okay, what if I start charging people to come to my house to watch Dwight Yoakam? How many people can I put in my backyard? And I break it even. And I couldn't do it. I was like, there's no way I could. It's like, and he wanted to sell merch, so I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
You want to sell merch at your house? The line for the merch is at Bob's house next door. It starts over there.
No, Bert would have to run it. He'd be doing math all night. Like, this sucks.
So I'd be doing merch for him, going like, I know venues take a cut of the merch, so I'd be like, all right, I get 25% of this, right?
Once again, we're with Bert Kreischer. Lucky just dropped on Netflix yesterday. It's amazing. And I was amazed because I haven't seen you in person in a little bit. We got to have you in the studio next time you come into town. How you've lost 45 pounds when you do the open there and walk out. I mean, it's still Bert. When you see Bert, it's still Bert Kreischer. It takes your shirt off. It's Bert. But 45 pounds less, looking svelte. And how did you do that exactly? What was the plan?
I did not drink.
Amazing.
It's amazing how not taking in 1,000 calories before bed, right before you go to sleep, it changes your metabolism, and it just shreds right off you.
Sure. So
You're not waterboarding your kidneys anymore? You're like, this is awesome.
Yeah. So I didn't drink for like 3 months, and it just kind of shredded off me. And I had a trainer. I worked out, but if you look at my body in this, I don't look like I'm jacked or anything. And by the way, I'm still in the special. I was 235 pounds, which is still technically morbidly obese. So, and
Air quotes,
if you're wondering, if you're wondering, well, what will he look like in Rockford? Hey, I've gained it all back.
Hell yes. Hell yes. That's amazing. So those shows, again, Rockford starts the tour now, September 18th. And in Milwaukee, if you can't make that one, September 19th is right there. And I was going to say, Bert, the special captures your energy. A lot of times comedians, and I'm not ripping other comedians, but it's hard to do a special and capture, you. And you do that in this special on Netflix. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's funny because usually, like, people never mention your closer, and apparently my closer is like, it's happened on both specials, especially like Razzle Dazzle and Hey Big Boy, is people are loving the closers. I usually put the closers at 22 minutes so that you make sure to watch them, and I have a closer at 22 minutes. I think it's Oven Mitts. And but this one is about my dog, us putting down our dog, and it gets emotional, and people are like sending me pictures of their husbands crying, and it's a weird story, and it was like probably the most difficult story for me to figure out how to tell, because it's funny, but it's also a little emotional and a little heartbreaking, because it's about our dogs, and dogs rock, and everyone's had to put down a dog, and it's a really interesting bit, and I'm really happy that it's resonating with people.
Yeah, it's awesome. It dropped yesterday on Netflix. You can check it out, Bert Kreischer. And again, the show is at Rockford because Rockford is badass and awesome and has parking.
Good parking.
Good parking. It's near Kenzie's house too, not too
Hell
far
yeah.
away. So Bert, man, we love you. And maybe at that Rockford show, I don't know if you're going to stay in Chicago for that, or you're staying at your buddy's house in Rockford for that show.
No, I'll be coming in. I can come in a day early if you got room for me on the show and hang out and do morning radio. I'd love that.
Dude, are you kidding me? That's done.
Old school.
Yes.
Old school where I'll expose myself to a bunch of young boys who just started a band.
But that's another story from the show, by the way. And I'll just really quick, because I know you're up against it here, but we had a Christian metal band in, and Bert did his usual routine of his shirt was off. But then they were perplexed about what was going on in the studio. So then Bert just dropped his pants. You ever seen a male penis?
They were just out of high school. And I was like, you guys miss high school? And they're like, no. I said, you guys shower with boys in high school? And they're like, no. And I was like, you never seen a grown man naked? And they're like, I don't think so. And I just was like, well, I'll take it from here.
Obviously something you needed to address, of course.
Yep. And that band today is Coheed and Cambria. That's the band. That's the band that was right. Bert, thanks so much. I definitely booked. You are going to be in here before that show in Rockford. It's been a while since you've been in here, so love you, man, and so happy for all your success.
I love you, brother. Thank you so much. I will see you guys September 17th. I'm coming in.
Hell yes. Let's go. Bert Kreischer. And, of course, go check out Lucky on Netflix. You can just go check it out today. It's streaming right now.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.